Hey everybody, this is Scott, and today we're going to be going to one of my favorite places in San Diego, La Jolla. So over the course of a Saturday, I was milling about doing my normal things around the house, taking care of the kids, and was watching the sky quite a lot. The clouds were looking really good, and so I wanted to get down to La Jolla for a sunset shoot. And so I rearranged my schedule a little bit and made the trip down there.
So come down here to La Jolla. Apologies for the background noise, but hey, the ocean is a noisy place. And we've got still some clouds up in the sky here, and what's really nice, and I'm really glad I rearranged my schedule to get down here, is the horizon's clear right now. So that means when the sun gets underneath, the sun's off here to camera left, we're going to have a lot of light and color bouncing off of those clouds.
So one of the things that I do before going for any shoot is, check the weather, and for the ocean, check the tides. So this was high tide was going to be just around sunset. The high tide was just starting to go out. Maybe a high tide is a half an hour before sunset. And that helps me decide where I'm going to go for a shoot. In this case, I know this is one of my favorite places, so I know it pretty well. And at low tide, there's these chasms where the rocks go down to the actual ocean, are very deep, and you don't get a lot of that ocean water play in and around the rocks. And so that's not a place I would go at low tide. Farther up the beach where there are more tide pools, it's definitely a place to go. At low tide, you get a lot of interesting patterns, little creatures show up in the tide pools and things like that. So knowing your environment, either doing it through research before going on a trip, or that you're just shooting around where you live, and so you know the area, you get familiar with it as time goes by, can really help you in deciding where to go based on the weather conditions and based on the tides.
The sun is starting to go down, so I've changed up my composition. Try to emphasize these rocks. Now, in the camera, I'm using a 11 to 16 lens at 11, so I'm on a crop sensor that's about 17 millimeters. We're going to get from here to about here, and I'm emphasizing the sky. That's where the action is going to be. And these foreground rocks should create things that point toward the horizon. All right, so the sun has dipped behind a marine layer that just seemed to rise out of nowhere in the last few minutes. I'm going to hang around here, and I'm going to keep my camera in exactly the same spot that I had it. So I've got pretty good foreground exposure. And we'll see if the sky lights up a little bit. I could always blend a couple of images together in post.
Yeah, so unfortunately, that clear horizon didn't hold the whole time. But I got some quite nice shots during the time when the sun hadn't gone down completely, but it ducked behind the clouds and takes some of the edge off of what otherwise would have been a massive glare into the camera. And even playing around the tide pools a little bit, the reflections weren't as interesting as the afternoon progressed toward the sunset. So that spot up on the rocks and the bluffs where it had those nice long stretches of rock almost pointing off into the distance, that became a really good composition for me. So I think for the next time I sit in front of the camera here, I'll get those images into the computer and we'll walk through processing one or two of them and see how they come out. So thanks again for joining me, and I will be back again soon. Again, if you like this, if you're enjoying this kind of format, leave a comment on the blog, on YouTube, and let me know what you think. Let me know what you'd like to hear more about. Thanks very much.